My name is Julian Sorondo. Professionally, I did communication and public relations at Moi University, so I can say I'm a publicist, but currently I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the founding director, or I can say I'm the CEO of Julian's Collection. It is a printing and branding business. We're located in Nairobi, and I do a lot of printing and brandings of all items for both corporates and even individuals. Growing up was good for me. I come from a family where both my parents were teachers. Currently my dad is retired, but my mom is still a teacher. So we grew up in a teacher's quarters. I'm the third born in our family. We are 4 boys and 2 girls, but I can say I'm like the firstborn because all my parents look up to me, and they gave me that mandate to take care of my siblings because I have that inborn leadership skills in me. So I can say I'm their next of kin. They always tell me that, so I do take care of my siblings. Growing up, I would say life was good because I can say I come from a middle-class family, being that my parents were working and they gave me the best education. I went to a boarding school, both primary and secondary, and even at the university. The one thing I do thank my parents for is the fact that in boarding school, there's no day that they missed on visiting days. So that is something that I really remember, and I always thank them for. I don't remember being sent away for school fees. So those are those small things that I look back and I see my friends, and I appreciate them for taking care of me and even my siblings up to where we are. Primary, being in a boarding school and being that my parents were teachers, it was a little bit tough because the teachers were so strict on me. You're a child of a teacher and you have to perform. So I would say I was a performer, and the teachers were so strict on me. I was a little bit cheeky, but not so cheeky. So the moment they realized that my dad was a teacher, my mom was a teacher, and some of the teachers went to college with them, so they were so strict on me. There was no room for playing, so I had to perform. Maseno Girls Boarding is a very good school, and I think I get my leadership skills from there because I saw most teachers were female. Our headmistress was a female, and she always impacted us, told us how to live. So I tend to think that is where I learned a lot of things, and also I learned to be independent because my parents would just, during opening day, we had to be taken to school, but after that you leave school from Kisumu, all the way from Maseno to Kanga. It's quite a distance. You had to take 2 buses. So I learned to be responsible, and I just learned to be independent, and I learned to live without my parents because you could only see them once every month. I think one thing it denied me is growing up with my siblings, getting to know each other better. Right now when I'm old is the time that I'm getting to know my sister because we are staying together. She was in a boarding school, I was in boarding school. When we met, it was maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, and then we were done. And I also missed my parents so much because after Form 4, when now we were waiting for my results and I was staying with my mom, she would see some behaviors in me and ask, "Are you really my child?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" "I've not seen that, but we've not grown together yet. Now is the time we are staying with you for a longer period of time." So she was getting to know some of the characters that she had not seen in me. And then I went to high school. I went to Ahero Girls Secondary School. So for high school, the shift was, my headmistress expected a lot from me because I remember when I was joining, she was like, "You come from a boarding school, I don't think you're going to perform. Most of you are," she said that most of us are coached to pass. But we were like, no, us, we were taught and we really learned. So I also had enough pressure to prove myself that we were not coached to pass, but actually I was that student who could read and pass my exams. So high school was good, and that is where I also met my friends. Right now, the people that I consider friends are the ones I met in my high school at Ahero. After high school, I scored a C+, and my parents were so disappointed in me. They expected better results, being that I had been performing. So to them, C+ was an underperformance, and my dad felt that paying my school fee as a parallel student was going to be so expensive. Being a sharp student, so I was like, what else could I do? So I decided to check online. I did computer back then, so I checked online and I realized there was a cabin crew course. So I told him, there's a cabin crew course, it's very cheap, how about I do it, then maybe later on I'll be able to take myself to school. And my dad was okay with it, so I signed up. It was at Wilson Skypath Aviation College. I did my cabin crew for a whole year, but when I went for an interview, I didn't get the job. That person just told me, you look too young and I'm not going to give you a job. When you turn 24, I was 19 then. When you get to 24, come, I'll give you a job. Then I was like, wow, my life has come to a halt. But then I thought, what can I do now that I have a diploma in cabin crew? I can do customer care. So I started looking for jobs for customer care, and then I got a job at Microlan. I worked there for 1 year. And then I also got another job at Chartered Engineering Services. So while at Chartered, I still held on to my dreams, like I must do my degree. So I decided to register at Moi University for an undergrad in communication and public relations. So I would go to work in the morning, and then in the evening do my studies, and I graduated. So after my graduation, I realized that the things I needed, life had become not so difficult, but my siblings were looking up to me. My dad retired, my mom is the only one working. I have siblings looking up to me, and then whatever I was earning and the expenses were so much. So I asked myself, what else can I do to increase my income? So I started a side hustle, Julian's collection. I started as a side hustle, and then later on, when I realized it was doing good and it was paying me more than what I was earning, then I decided to quit employment and I ventured into full-time business. At first, I was scared. And being scared, I didn't tell anybody because I know my parents looked up to me, my siblings were looking up to me, and then that shift, it was also scary, but I had to do it because I was looking at the future. So I just decided to resign and started doing Julian's. At first I was scared. I had saved money. I was like, let me save this money that can pay my rent for the next 3 months. If worst comes to worst, I can always look for a job. The moment I left job, at least I started getting better customers, because right now, by then I was fully focusing on business, marketing. So business was doing better, and I can say it's only during the COVID period that it went down a little bit, but business pays. It pays a lot. So guys, we are taking a short break. We'll be back with more of my stories. Stay tuned. My passion and purpose in life is to see young girls being empowered and see them reach a certain echelon of life whereby they find independence, that is financial independence, and they get to be career women, people who are looked up to in the society. And I'm so passionate about that. That's why I want myself to be an example. That's why I always do what I do, so that they can look back and look at me. In as much as Belly is doing this, she's a good example to us. I have an organization called Ambitious Girls 254. I'm the founding director, and I have a team of 10 other girls. We do mentor boys and girls in primary and secondary schools, and our major focus is on career guidance, sexual reproductive health. In certain cases whereby girls can't afford sanitary towels, we usually give to them. And not only do we do the mentorship bit, but when you go out, we go out and find that there's a special need that the students we are mentoring have, we always try to meet it. Some of the projects we've done, and the major project that we are proud of is the one we did in Il Paraco in Kajiado County. We realized that the community down there did not have water. The girls and both the pupils were walking long distance, and some of them were missing school. So we decided to buy them water tanks so that they could get water close by, and that one has really helped them a lot. The whole community and even the students, they don't walk for long distance, they have water. We partnered with a certain organization to be pouring water, so every week there's always a flow of water. We've also mentored girls from the Angaza project in Kibra. We ensure that we partner them with every mentee got a mentor from our organization, and we check up on them, how they're doing socially, educationally, and so far we've witnessed good performance. And even some other schools outside Nairobi, like Ogande Girls, we did mentorship to them, and we realized that the performance increased during when the results were announced. So those are some of the projects we are proud of, and many more that I can't mention. I always say that there's a market for everyone. In as much as the market is flooded, for me, one thing that has kept me afloat as Julian's collection is the quality work and also the timely delivery. So I talk to my customers, if you want quality, then you get it from me. If you want timely delivery, I do it. And the good communication I have. If we agreed on something and I realize it's not going to work, I always call them on time. So that is what has kept me afloat. And I can say right now I have several return customers because of the quality that I offer. I wish I was told that business is not as easy as it seems on the business plan. There are times that you'll get customers, there are times that you'll not make money, but you have to keep on going. So if somebody told me that, I could be prepared, but it's something I learned along the way. And I tell my fellow people in business that it's not every day you're going to make sales, it's not every month that you're going to make sales, but sometime you'll always make sales. So you just have to work with what you have and plan ahead with it. So for the organization, I can say the challenge that we have is many people want to be helped, and since we don't have sponsors, it's us girls, we always collect money from our pocket. So because we have our projects that we are doing, but there are people who would want us to help them out, but we can't. So that is also a challenge. They feel like, why are you helping these people? You can't reach out to us. So that is one of the challenges that we face as Ambitious Girls 254. And the challenges I can say I face as a business person is like the economy has become so bad. So things are not going the way that we expected. And sometimes when I was doing my business plan, there's a focus that I had, but looking back, things are not going the way that I had projected. So that is one of the challenges. There's no flow of cash, and relatives and friends, they're the ones who always pull me back because they'll want things for free. They're like, oh, you're selling this, give me this, why don't you give me at a discounted price? So those are a few challenges, but right now I think I've learned how to manage it. I can say people go through challenges, different challenges, both the good things and then the bad things, and life is not straight. So sometimes, like one of my mentors told me, Bailey, there are certain things that you have to face to learn from them, but then there are things that you learn from people's mistakes. So I may tell you to do this, you can learn from somebody's mistake and not do it, but somehow along the line, something will happen. So we need somebody to guide us, whichever age you are, somebody to show you the direction, especially somebody who is older than you and has witnessed life. So everybody deserves a mentor, somebody to just guide them. It could be a family friend, a relative, or even just a total stranger who has seen this person has to be mentored. Yeah, so we need mentors in our life to help us go through life. I have won a few awards. The first one was in 2018. It was called Women Appreciating Women Honorary Award, whereby I was acknowledged for the work that I do for empowering women. A yearly fellow, that is Young African Leaders Initiative, that was started by President Obama. So I'm a fellow of that initiative. I'm also a fellow of the President Fellowship. We just concluded it last year. It was started by the Global Peace Foundation. So I can say I'm a peace ambassador. Those are some of the fellows that I've done, international fellows that I have done. And recently I also won a She Awards as an upcoming entrepreneur. These achievements make me feel appreciated and known, and when I look back from where I've come from and where I'm going, I can thank myself and say, at least I'm going somewhere, I'm headed somewhere, because you also need to develop as an individual. So I feel so good about them. If you want to do business or if you want to become a leader, there are qualities that you must have. And it starts from a very young age. Where you are, can you stand up for people? Can you speak up? If you see something is wrong or if you want to make your voice known, always learn to carry up your hand. Don't fear, regardless of what people may say. At first you'll be scared, you'll be trembling like, did I say the right thing? But just start speaking up from where you are, from the classroom, from any space that you are in. Try to talk. And then another thing, there are several leadership attend the leadership conferences, and then there are also groups like YALI. YALI is Young African Leadership Organization. As long as you're any young person between the age of 18 to 35, you can go through that. It's a free thing, you just sign up. They always have different cohorts, because I've been part of the training. There's also the presidential fellow. So there are these type of fellows whereby you meet with other people who have the same passion as you, and then you get to learn from them. So you be on the lookout. And also on social media, since that everybody's on social media, look for those people that you look up to. What do they do? Can you learn something from them? So that is how you build yourself, as a young person and as a leader. And about business, it's not easy to get into business, but it's something that is doable. So when you want to do business, look at yourself. What can I do? What type of business can I do? What am I passionate about? And then you follow that path. If you need financial assistance, you can talk to your parents, or you can just find somebody who can assist you. One lesson that I've really learned in life is you need people. You can't do everything on your own. So ensure you have a group of people who support you, and they support you genuinely. Life is not so easy, but when you have a support system, you'll always manage things easily. So have good people to surround yourself with. Ensure that you network. Networking is very important. Your network is your net worth. That is one lesson that I've learned. The second lesson is that don't forget God in everything you do. If you're a spiritual person, whichever religion you come from, always trust in God, because without God you can't make it. And have an accountability partner. Somebody will always keep you in check. When you're doing something wrong, they tell you. When you're doing something good, they congratulate you. And be happy for people. We always try to keep ourselves composed, but behind the scene, a lot of things happen. And that one brings me back to the point that I said, you must have a community of people with you. When things are not working, there's always at least that one or two people that you can always lean back on and tell them, I need assistance here, I'm breaking down. So one thing I would always tell the young girls, always have somebody. It could be your parent. If you're not open to your parent, there's a relative somewhere, or just a friend that you met along the way you can always talk to. And there are also organizations that help people. If you need some help and you don't know how to go about it, you can always Google. I don't know which type of problem somebody could have, but one thing I would just say, always have somebody you can talk to. They can always help you to maneuver life, especially an elder person or even your peers. They'll always help you to maneuver.